YouTube, how the heck you doing? This is Corey here with Watcher of Realms. This is going to be the Season 7 Tower map, at least for Gilby Guild, right? So the purpose here is to kind of review the placements, see what can be placed, and just kind of ideate on some of the teams and just see how the map overall will flow, right? So let's kind of go ahead and set some things up super quickly here. Not here. Let's do this. Then this, then this. So first and foremost, this is going to be one of the standard little placements, right? So let's remove this. You have a couple of spots that you can go ahead and put your tanks / your fighters. First spot going to be this spot here that Toreador is sticking to. Next is the spot that Wukong is currently sitting in. You have these 4 tiles, and then you have an additional 3 over here, right? So you have a decent chunk of placements, 9 in totality, I believe. And then for your ranged units, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. 14 tiles. And one of them does appear to be an Ingrid tile, right? This very long range of sight one. So, or long lane of sight. So that's good if you have Ingrid, right? So let's just kind of review where the units are going to path as well. Units are going to path from this spawn point all the way down. They're going to turn into this little corridor right here, which actually might be a little bit gross for AoE damage, thinking cultists, right? They might be a little bit disgusting because if anytime there's a corridor or like a sharp turn, there's a really good chance that they might be good for that. Units are going to path here, down, there we go. So pretty standard pathing. It does look kind of like a long map in general, just long lane, short lane, long lane, right? So that part is very much interesting. So let's just kind of set these things up, right? One thing you could do is you could go ahead and put a tank here and a fighter here. A mage would be fine in this position, or another piercer, right? Would be fine here, like a Silas, for example, would be okay. That would be fine. I have Ajax here. Ajax could easily go ahead and be swapped with a marksman, right? They kind of fulfill the same range in theory. So that is one potential swap that you could do. And then also you always want your healer probably in this back tile. It is the most safe tile overall from all damage. And the healer will always be able to reach the most important unit, which is your tank and your fighter in this case. If you're not running double fight or tank fighter, you could always put a second tank here. And then you have about 8 block in total. But it might just get a little bit tricky because you will lack some of that damage. So that's one setup. The other setup is something a little along the lines of this. I personally don't think that this would be advisable in any way, shape, or form unless you're potentially running like a Ymrit. Main reason for why I don't think that's a good idea is because your healer will not go ahead and get in range of the tank. The only way I can see this working is if you are potentially running a piercer comp and you're running a Lily, because then you'll get that extended range. But off the top of my head, I don't think that'd be good. Also, you could place the healer here, but based on placing it here, Garnet Guards will probably go ahead and hit it because the tank is technically behind the healer, right? So this placement, I don't see much viability in if your tank is going to be remaining here. If we go ahead and push this back a bit, then things might work. Let's go ahead and put a fighter here, put a Wukong here. Let's go ahead and put Ajax here, here, here. So this is one other potential setup that you could run. It is reliant, in my opinion, on using Ajax, however, right? Because if we were to go ahead and swap this with any other mage, technically speaking, beyond Boreas, for example, right? You're never going to go ahead and auto these units. Anora is in a similar category, right? You're never going to auto or hit the units here until they go ahead and get past your tank. So Ajax works in this spot, but he is probably the only unit that will be able to auto attack on this tile if you're doing this placement. So overall, I don't necessarily like this setup as much, because also you're giving your enemy a little bit too much time to kind of set up, right? I imagine they'll be able to go ahead and drop the Fool and then drop Maw and then kind of run you down a little bit easier than if you already have the placements right here, right? It gives them less time to set up on the map. So this team setup might work if you're using a Cyrus, for example. Cyrus, Ymrit, Anora maybe, or Anora like somewhere over here, Lily over here. That might be a potential, but we'll kind of have to see how that functions. I don't think it'll be incredibly likely though. And then we have this final setup here. First and foremost, we're going to kind of set this up. Ajax is not the best for this, mind you, right? Wukong. So you have to push this back, actually. You'll have to do a placement something like this. Interesting. Reason why you have to do a placement like this is because no healer will go ahead and reach that tile unless you're doing something a little bit funky and you're doing this, right? You're putting your healer in that placement, but then your fighter is going to have to also be up here, and you're going to 1000% need Ingrid or Dahlia with this form of placement. So that's one of the potential hiccups here if you don't have Ingrid or Dahlia, just because this tile, it looks like, was 1000% made for Ingrid and Dahlia. So that's the tower map. Interesting. I think it's solid. It might be a little bit easier for offensive attacks to be somewhat effective. So we'll see here. I'm just grabbing random units. Get rid of this. Let's do this just for fun. All right, this is the new keep map. So units are going to path from down here, across, down, up. 2 tiles is what they move. Bam, bam, bam. So there's a lot of kind of, how do I put this? A lot of movement, a lot of random corridors, which is going to be interesting because it seems like this tile, and then this tile are essentially copies of the season 4. Was it season 4? Yeah, the season 4 map, and technically the season 5 map had it too, where you could place the units in between these little areas here. Something like this, for example, right? So that'll be interesting. However, remember, right, the units that are placed here typically get hit first, at least based off of these positionings. They're likely to get hit first. If you do this positioning, though, your issue is destroyers are going to hit both units, mages hit both units. So that's not going to be in your best interest. And then if we go ahead and look over here, if we do this placement, it's similar, exactly the same concept to season 5, where I believe the units will get here. They'll like mages will swap targets for a brief moment to hit this unit and then continue hitting this unit. So that's one tile where we might see some success, but it really depends because of placements here. Right? So this is potential number 1, just like off the top of my head. I don't like this. Let's see here. I don't like this placement just because I think you really need to pump out as much damage as possible and really hope that they are not able to build an insane swarm in the process of getting here, because that's one of the things whenever you place units right by the crystal with something so long, drop skeletons, like drop necros, let it kind of stack up, drop healer, let it stack up. It can kind of get problematic very quickly. Let's kind of clear this up a bit. And let's see here. You could do something like this. But if you did this, right? Arrogance would probably work, because Arrogance would ult and his ult would hit this tile. But you can't place a healer here or this, because they're going to get sniped by Garnet Guards. So that's one hiccup. You place it like this, right? I'm not just saying like facing this way, but in this position in general, this does work. Let's go ahead and do this. But now your melee unit or your like fighter is doing nothing. It's just licking walls, right? Unless you go ahead and put a tank here, and imagine like Valkyrie as a tank, you're kind of struggling because you're going to be splitting, you're going to be lacking damage. Also, I could just easily see this getting swarmed. So, keep map will definitely be interesting. Let's kind of look at this final placement over here, which honestly, let's see. Actually, yeah, this placement's horrible. I'm not even gonna review this one. This is just bad. Like there's no viability on this one. This just looks bad. Yeah, because that's going to get Garnet guarded. Now, honestly, both those tiles are just going to archered. It doesn't even matter. And then this is Mage Central, right? The one placement that I can see on this particular map that looks viable is going to be something like, let's see. Can I place this here? Here. Here. Boom. Right? Like, imagine this is like Praetus is Ingrid. Ingrid would work here. Issue is this tile. Eunomia might get sniped. So honestly, the key map is interesting because I feel like it's going to be very fighter dominated. Just based off these placements, it'll definitely be interesting to see what works. So, anyways, those are the overall spots that are available on the map and just my initial thoughts on how this map is going to flow. Keeps, I think, are going to be a little bit tricky. I could actually see keeps being a little bit weaker than towers for this map. Towers seem like they have a very clear, defined set of parameters as to where you can put the units and how viable they're going to be. So that'll be interesting. Let's go ahead and hop over and do some Garnet Guard testing super quickly here on the alt account. Cool. It's 2 a.m. Cool. Oh my god, dude. There we go. And then let's go ahead and chow the alt. Where is it? Here we go. Friendly face off. Guild War. And then let's just do this. Where is the Garnets? And then let me set this up super quick. Just in case I need to take out these units. There we go. All right, so let's just drop one Garnet just because we're kind of loose testing this. Hitsbrook here. So it will hit Dahlia. So that tile's a dangerous tile. Ah, hold on. That's interesting. So it will hit this tile, and it does hit this tile. That's important. Okay. Let's go ahead and take out Brokir super quickly. And then let's see. Ymir might actually die in this process, which is fine. I don't mind it. Interesting. Okay, so we have confirmation. Those two tiles are dangerous tiles. This tile and this tile. Can't place units there. Unless you can just blow up the Garnets. But even then, that's a little bit of a risk. Let's chow second team here. And just see how it performs. Because I really want to see what's snipeable, right? So next one here. Actually, first and foremost, I want to see if this tile can be hit by archers. So let's see. Ah, it can. That tile is not safe. That tile gets archered. Interesting. Okay. So if that tile can be archered, can Garnets hit it? They can't. Okay. So any unit here can be archered. I want to see if... Let me actually do something here. I want to see if I can just trigger these ults just super quick. Cool. Ah, wait. Let's see something. Because if that tile is in danger of Garnets, even if I don't take out the tank, that's a little bit problematic as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the dogs first. Let's go ahead and drop these. I want to just trigger Boreas's ult. There we go. Oh, dogs are too strong. Then again, my ult doesn't have it geared, so whatever. Let's just run this, not worry about dropping the dogs so the dogs are killing Reeve, and see. When do they swap targets? Ah, okay. That tile's in danger. This tile's in danger if there's a tank here. So you almost have to put... Interesting. You are almost forced to put your healer here then. Because you can't put it here. Interesting. Okay. So that's kind of like the verdict on that map. Those two tiles over there are in danger. So about 4 tiles that we can think of that are archer / garnetable. So that's concerning. Let's kind of run it same test, right? See what's in danger from the Garnets. Let's just drop 1. And I have this team set up so I can actually just multi-test through these things here. Ah, so that tile's in danger. Let's try it. Let's just take out Reeve real quick. And then see if Soul Cadence is in danger. All right. Let's go ahead and drop this. Realistically, Soul Cadence, hold on. Let me not do that. Let's do this. And then I'll drop the Garnet. Because I at least know the dogs will take out Reeve. Because he's ungeared. Cool. So that works. Morgan's in danger. Awesome. Test is going to plan. Let's see if Soul Cadence is in danger. Soul Cadence is also in danger. So, real quick, this tile and I believe it was this tile. Let me just double check. The front tile's in danger. Okay. This tile, this tile, this tile is safe. Those two are in danger. And then let's do the final one here, which is just this random one. Obviously the Fool is going to be in danger, but we're going to see if these three tiles are in jeopardy. So let's see. Because if that's the case, then obviously like this tile is literally just troll. It doesn't even matter. We just drop an archer. I honestly don't know why they wasted the time to even put these two tiles here. There's no point. It's literally just trolling if you do that, like ever. Let's go ahead and slow this down just for correction purposes. All right, we proc Cetrum. Looking good. All right, let's see how this test works. Ah, that tile's in danger. That tile's in danger. Man. I'm not gonna lie, the keep map seems very, very tricky. Because it's like there's multiple tiles that are just very easy to hit with garnets. So definitely going to be interesting to see how it progresses, but as of right now, I just feel like fighters are going to be very important for the keeps, and then having really good mages will be very good for the towers. Anyways, those are my preliminary reviews on these maps. See ya.